If you're over 60 and still eating these 4 vegetables, you might be unknowingly raising your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and even kidney failure. Most of us grew up hearing the phrase, "Eat your vegetables, they're all good for you." But what if that long-standing advice could be dangerously outdated? If you're over the age of 60, some vegetables might actually be doing more harm than good. Shocking new research has revealed that certain vegetables can spike blood sugar, inflame your joints, and even contribute to early death, by as much as 83% in some cases. And here's the kicker: nearly 99% of older adults are completely unaware. On the flip side, other vegetables, the right ones, have been shown to lower inflammation, support brain health, and even extend lifespan by over a decade. So today, in part 1 of this 2-part video, we're exposing the 4 vegetables you should be eating regularly if you're over 60, ranked from great to game-changing. In part 2, we'll uncover the 4 vegetables you should never touch, including the most dangerous one that's likely sitting in your fridge right now. Don't forget to comment below and tell us what city you're watching from. We'd love to see how far this message travels. Now, let's kick things off with one of the most underrated vegetables that could dramatically change how you feel day to day. Hash 4. Purple cabbage, the gut-healing, inflammation-fighting giant. At first glance, purple cabbage may look like a slightly fancier version of your average coleslaw base. But don't let its common appearance fool you. This colorful cruciferous vegetable is a nutritional powerhouse, especially for those in their golden years. What makes it so unique? The vibrant purple hue comes from compounds called anthocyanins, which are natural plant pigments with incredible antioxidant properties. These compounds don't just look pretty. They neutralize harmful free radicals that damage cells and accelerate aging. More importantly, anthocyanins are known inflammation fighters. A 2020 clinical study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 60 who consumed high amounts of anthocyanin-rich vegetables had markedly lower levels of inflammatory markers and a 24% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. But the benefits don't stop with your heart. Purple cabbage is also one of the best natural sources of insoluble fiber and prebiotics, which help maintain a healthy gut microbiome. A strong gut lining means better digestion, improved immunity, and enhanced nutrient absorption, all critical factors for anyone over 60. Best ways to eat it: raw in salads with olive oil and vinegar to enhance absorption, lightly sautéed for 2-4 minutes to preserve antioxidants. Stir-fried with garlic, turmeric, or ginger for an anti-inflammatory meal. And if you've got arthritis, digestive problems, or high blood pressure, consider purple cabbage a regular addition to your shopping cart. It's affordable, stores well, and delivers serious age-defying benefits with every bite. If you're over 60 and still eating these 4 vegetables, you might be unknowingly raising your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and even kidney failure. Hash 3. Okra, the natural blood sugar stabilizer. Okra is one of those vegetables people either love or avoid. The texture? Controversial. The health benefits? Undeniable. If you're navigating the challenges of aging, especially conditions like prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, okra should absolutely be on your radar. That's because it contains a type of soluble fiber known as mucilage, which forms a gel-like substance in your digestive tract. This mucilage slows down the absorption of sugar in your intestines, leading to better blood sugar control and improved insulin sensitivity. A 2021 clinical trial published in the Journal of Food Science and Nutrition tracked patients who consumed okra daily. After just 8 weeks, their fasting blood sugar levels had dropped by over 20%, a result that's typically only expected from medications. But blood sugar isn't the only system okra supports. Flavonoids and quercetin, powerful brain protectors that combat cognitive decline, vitamin K, crucial for bone strength and proper blood clotting, folate and calcium, which help with red blood cell production and nerve function, to enjoy it without the slime. Soak in vinegar for 30 minutes before cooking. Lightly steam, roast, or add to soups and stews. Slice, season, and oven roast for a crunchy, healthy snack. Okra is the perfect example of a food that may not be popular but is undeniably powerful. If you're serious about managing blood sugar, mental clarity, and strong bones, give this vegetable another shot. Hash 2. Beetroot, the circulation supercharger. Beets don't just add a splash of color to your plate. They open up your arteries, lower your blood pressure, and recharge your brain. Beetroot is rich in natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessel walls, allowing blood to flow more freely and reducing the stress on your heart. A 2019 study from Hypertension Research followed seniors who consumed beetroot juice daily. After 4 weeks, they experienced an average drop of 11 points in systolic blood pressure. That's comparable to the effect of first-line medications, but without side effects. Even more interesting, beetroot has cognitive benefits too. In a 2017 study in the Journals of Gerontology, older adults who consumed beet juice before exercising showed enhanced blood flow to the brain's frontal lobe, improving focus, memory, and decision-making. Other nutrients found in beets include betalains, which fight cell-level inflammation, folate, which aids red blood cell production, manganese, critical for bone development and metabolism. How to consume beetroot: roast until soft to bring out sweetness, blend into smoothies with ginger and apple. Juice, but make sure it's 100% beet. No added sugar. Don't have time to cook them? Pre-cooked vacuum-packed beets are available at most grocery stores and can be eaten straight from the package. Hash 1. Kale, the ultimate aging defender. You've probably heard kale being called a superfood, but for seniors, kale is far more than just a trendy leafy green. It's one of the most effective natural defenses against aging available today. What makes kale stand out? First, it's one of the richest sources of lutein and zeaxanthin, carotenoids that directly protect your eyes and brain. That's critical after age 60, when risks for conditions like macular degeneration and cognitive decline sharply increase. A 2020 paper published in Neurology found that seniors with high dietary intake of these nutrients had 32% slower cognitive decline than those with the lowest intake. Kale also supports your heart with potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure; magnesium, important for heartbeat rhythm and muscle function; vitamin K1, which prevents calcium buildup in the arteries and supports bone health. The anti-inflammatory punch doesn't stop there. Kale is loaded with camphorol, a potent flavonoid that protects cells from oxidative stress; sulforaphane, which activates natural detox enzymes in the liver. Even your brain sees the benefits. A 2018 study from Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience linked kale consumption with improved electrical activity in memory and sensory processing areas of the brain. The best way to eat kale: sauté with garlic and olive oil to soften the texture and boost nutrient absorption. Steam lightly for salads or mix into soups. Make kale chips by baking torn leaves with olive oil and sea salt. Caution: avoid eating kale raw in large amounts if you have a thyroid condition. Light cooking removes the goitrogens that can interfere with thyroid function. Quick recap: the 4 best vegetables for seniors. Here's a quick summary of the vegetables we've covered, all of which can make a measurable difference in how you age. 1. Kale, protects your brain, heart, bones, and more. 2. Beetroot, improves blood flow, lowers pressure, boosts stamina. 3. Okra, stabilizes blood sugar, protects memory, strengthens bones. 4. Purple cabbage, fights inflammation, heals your gut, reduces heart disease risk. Together, these vegetables support critical functions that decline after 60, including memory, blood circulation, metabolism, and joint health. And they're all easily accessible, affordable, and versatile in your kitchen. But we're not done. In part 2, we're flipping the script and exposing the 4 vegetables you should never eat if you're over 60. Some of them are found in nearly every kitchen, and one in particular has been tied to a 91% increased risk of heart failure. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and watch part 2 to protect yourself and your loved ones. In part 1 of this series, we explored the 4 vegetables you should be eating regularly after age 60. Powerful foods that help reduce inflammation, improve memory, stabilize blood sugar, and support long-term heart health. But now it's time to address a more urgent truth: the other side of the plate. Because while some vegetables help you age gracefully, others can quietly accelerate aging, damage your organs, and even increase your risk of chronic illness. They're not deep-fried, they're not candy bars, they're vegetables. Ones that are commonly believed to be healthy, yet for seniors, they come with hidden risks. Hash 4. Corn, a common crop with uncommon consequences. Corn is everywhere, in side dishes, soups, salads, even snack foods. It's a staple in many kitchens and often seen as a neutral or harmless food. But for seniors, corn is far from harmless. At its core, corn is a high glycemic vegetable, meaning it causes your blood sugar to spike rapidly after consumption. It behaves less like a vegetable and more like a refined carbohydrate, and that's especially problematic after 60. A 2020 study in diabetes care found that seniors who regularly consumed high glycemic foods like corn had a 46% higher chance of developing insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. But that's not the only concern. Corn is often sweet corn, bred to contain extra sugar. Canned corn with added salt or sugar, cornmeal, tortillas, and corn syrup-based products. Better swaps. Zucchini, cauliflower, or broccoli. Low glycemic and rich in fiber quinoa or lentils for a complex carb source. Corn isn't inherently toxic, but it's a metabolic disruptor for aging bodies. If you're consuming it multiple times a week, it may be quietly compromising your health. Hash 3. White potatoes, the hidden spike behind your favorite comfort food. Few foods are as comforting or as common as white potatoes. Whether baked, mashed, or fried, they've been a staple in most households for generations. But that doesn't mean they're safe for older adults. White potatoes are very high in starch, and more importantly, they rank extremely high on the glycemic index. In simpler terms, they behave like sugar in the body. A 2016 study in the BMJ followed over 70,000 adults and found that those who consumed white potatoes 4 or more times per week had a 33% higher risk of developing high blood pressure. What's worse is how potatoes are often prepared. Fried in inflammatory oils, topped with butter, sour cream, or cheese, salted heavily. Even when boiled or baked, potatoes break down quickly into glucose, putting strain on your pancreas and contributing to long-term insulin resistance. Notice this after eating potatoes? Feeling tired, sluggish, or mentally foggy? Sudden hunger again within an hour or two? Swollen feet, hands, or joints? Better swaps. Sweet potatoes, lower on the glycemic index and richer in fiber and antioxidants. Turnips or parsnips for a similar texture with less metabolic stress. Hash 2. Eggplant, pretty on the plate, problematic in the body. Eggplant is a beautiful vegetable. It's low in calories, high in fiber, and often used in Mediterranean dishes that are widely seen as heart-healthy. But for seniors, eggplant comes with some hidden risks, especially for those dealing with joint pain, nerve sensitivity, or kidney concerns. Here's why. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, a group of vegetables that contain alkaloids, natural chemicals like solanine and niacin that serve as the plant's defense system. While these compounds are harmless in small amounts for sensitive individuals, especially older adults with underlying inflammation, they can trigger joint pain, worsen arthritis symptoms, interfere with nerve signaling, increase oxidative stress in the brain and body. Eggplant also contains oxalates, compounds that can bind with calcium and form kidney stones. After 60, your kidneys naturally slow down, and your risk of stone formation increases. If you love eggplant, try this. Peel and soak slices in salt water before cooking. Bake or grill without excess oil. Limit intake to once per week. Still, there are better options. Zucchini or squash, easier to digest, no alkaloids. Mushrooms or bell peppers if tolerated. Eggplant isn't dangerous for everyone, but for many seniors with arthritis, gout, kidney concerns, or GI sensitivity, it's a vegetable worth limiting or avoiding altogether. Hash 1. Canned tomatoes, the slow poison disguised as a pantry staple. Tomatoes are a nutritional paradox. Fresh, vine-ripened tomatoes are rich in lycopene, vitamin C, and other antioxidants that promote heart and skin health. But when it comes to canned tomatoes, the story changes dramatically. Most canned tomatoes are packed in metal containers lined with BPA, bisphenol A, a chemical compound used to prevent corrosion inside the can. Here's where it gets dangerous. BPA is a known endocrine disruptor. It mimics hormones in your body, particularly estrogen, and interferes with natural hormone signaling. For seniors, this is particularly harmful because hormone regulation is already compromised due to age. A 2020 study published in Environmental Research found that adults with high levels of BPA in their blood were 91% more likely to develop heart disease. But tomatoes make things even worse. Tomatoes are acidic, and that acid causes BPA to leach from the can lining into the food itself, especially when heated, as it often is in soups, stews, sauces, and pastas. So every time you eat canned tomatoes, you're not just getting lycopene, you're potentially consuming a dose of endocrine-disrupting chemicals, excess sodium, often over 500 milligrams per serving, additives or preservatives to extend shelf life. For older adults managing high blood pressure, kidney stress, or hormonal imbalance, this becomes a dangerous combination that silently contributes to heart problems, fatigue, and weight gain. The solution? Use fresh or frozen tomatoes instead of canned. Opt for glass-jarred sauces labeled BPA-free. If you must use canned tomatoes, choose brands that clearly say BPA-free lining and rinse thoroughly before use. Better yet, make your own sauce from scratch. It's easier than you think. Final summary, the 4 vegetables to avoid after age 60. Let's quickly recap the vegetables you should avoid or significantly limit. If you're over 60, hash vegetable, why it's harmful for seniors. 4. Corn spikes blood sugar, promotes insulin resistance. 3. White potatoes high glycemic, causes blood pressure and weight issues. 2. Eggplant contains alkaloids, triggers inflammation, kidney risk. 1. Canned tomatoes, BPA leaching, hormone disruption, high sodium content. Each of these vegetables might appear innocent and may even be marketed as healthy, but they carry risks that increase with age. When you pass 60, your body changes. Slower metabolism, reduced kidney efficiency, more fragile cardiovascular system, shifting hormone balance, which means the foods that once served you well might now be silently working against you. Take control today. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. Now that you know the truth about these vegetables, you can take better control of your health. Make simple swaps. Choose smarter ingredients. Support your heart, brain, hormones, and digestion, all with what's on your plate. Drop a comment below. Which vegetable on this list surprised you the most? If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss our weekly science-backed health insights. Your body deserves the truth, and your future self will thank you.